This is killing Americans and causing so much inflammation and so many problems. Hi, I'm Dr. Dabbs. Today we'll talk about inflammatory foods. Inflammation foods are foods that make your body inflamed, and we do not do a good job of that in this country. So for example, processed foods, ultra-processed foods, they instantly create damage in the intestines. You create damage in the intestines, and you're going to be inflamed in the joints. There's a whole mechanism behind it with the little bacteria flora in your gut that basically keep you alive, keep the inflammation down in your immune system. They end up becoming degraded, lost, dead, and the body no longer has a connection with your joints to heal. So therefore, your joints start to degrade and they don't have the ability to heal. That's processed foods. Also happens with emulsifiers in foods. So let's say you get a big jar of spaghetti sauce, for example. First of all, very acidic, damaging to the body. Second of all, it's got high lectins in there, which are poisons and natural pesticides on plants. But thirdly, it's got emulsifiers in it to keep it all uniform in color. What are emulsifiers? Dishwashing soap. How do you think that's going to be in your gut? And that's going to kill all your flora too. Again, you kill those flora, the direct link to your joints, communication is not there, the joints degrade. So inflammation foods such as processed foods, ultra-processed, and emulsifiers are bad, but then you got your meats. So eating a lot of meat, especially when you have the processed meats, that's bad, but the regular meat too. Let's say chicken, beef, pork, fish. All of those can inflame the body because they're very acidic. Now, they're a lot less acidic than the processed foods, of course, but they still have a problem. One of the main problems is the fat in it. So the fat, if you notice you put a steak out on the counter or chicken and under the skin, there's fat there, right? Does that melt? Is that a liquid or is that a solid? It's a solid. So in your body, it's a solid too. So if it's solid fat going around the body, it's causing havoc and it's sticking to the arterial walls, and that creates inflammation in the body everywhere. Not only that, if you have leaky gut and you're eating chicken, beef, pork, or fish, that's a high protein content. Leaky gut, which I'd say about 60% of people have or more, the little chunks of meat will go through those things in your gut, the leaky gut, into your bloodstream, and they go to different areas like your fingers, feet, knees, areas like that. That's where they get stuck. The body attacks it like a heart transplant because they shouldn't be there. That meat should be broken down to amino acids, but if you got leaky gut, it's not. It's little chunks going through. They may be small, but they accumulate, and the body is always inflamed. So these are another source of inflammation in the foods. Unless you fix your leaky gut, that's going to be inflammation. So really the only foods that take away inflammation are vegetables and fruits. And don't worry about the sugar in fruits because it's so little that you can taste it. For example, if you have pasta, you can't taste the sugar. That's an inflammatory acidic food. Any acid foods are bad for you. That would be meats, pastas, breads, milk, cheeses. So pasta, the sugar is so tight that you cannot taste it. You space it apart, take less sugar, and it's all just a few molecules floating around, that's going to be sweet. So don't fear the sweetness of fruit. It's not that much sugar. And it has a lot of fiber in it, which prevents the sugar from being absorbed. So sugar itself is inflammation. Probably the worst inflammation in this country has ever had was sugar, which is why 80% of people are now pre-diabetic or diabetic, which is the fastest growing disease in this country. Again, inflammation from food, mainly sugar. So if you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to ask below.